Officials from NATO's 32 member states will be gathering in The Hague today for the alliance's annual summit, where they'll be discussing key issues like defense spending, deterrence, and what can be done to bolster its strength. Roger Collins joins us now with the latest. Roger?
Manisa, this year's summit comes at a time when the world is teetering on the edge. From Russia's invasion of Ukraine to the conflict between Iran and Israel and the broader situation in the Middle East, there's a lot on the line and a hefty price tag along with it. NATO leaders and defense ministers are gathering in The Hague for the alliance's annual summit, where some are expected to push for a massive increase in defense spending at the demands of U.S. President Donald Trump.
And we meet at a truly historic moment with significant and growing challenges to our security. As the world becomes more dangerous, allied leaders will take bold decisions to strengthen our collective defense, making NATO a stronger, a fairer, and a more lethal alliance.
But not everyone is in alignment when it comes to the hike in defense spending, and flaring tensions around the globe, including the war in Ukraine, are raising questions over its unity.
Question number one was, Mark, is the US still with us? Yes, they are. You might want to turn on your television when Emmanuel Macron is visiting the Oval Office, when Keir Starmer is visiting the Oval Office, when Giorgia Meloni is. Hey, by the way, when I was visiting, you might want to see that.
Speaking to the press on Air Force One, Trump expressed uncertainty when asked about NATO's Article 5, a clause that requires members to defend each other from attack.
Are you still committed to Article 5 of NATO?
It depends on your definition. There's numerous definitions of Article 5. You know that, right? But I'm committed to being their friend.
Can you clarify what you mean? Are you still committed to mutual defense?
I'm committed to saving lives. I'm committed to life and safety. And I'm going to give you an exact definition when I get there.
Trump has no love of NATO, and in general, he doesn't like multilateral organizations at all. He doesn't like anything constraining the U.S., and he doesn't see the value in alliances. And of course, his slogan is America First, which often really translates into America Alone.
On Monday, Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney signed a new defense pact with the European Union, a move that will pull the country away from relying so heavily on the U.S. as part of the $1 trillion Rearm Europe program, while NATO officials continue to warn against the growing threat that is Russia.
But there is great worry in many circles of NATO. We have heard the Chief of Defense in Germany a couple of weeks ago and many other senior military leaders speaking about this, and also senior intelligence community people speaking about this, that between 3, 5, 7 years from now, Russia will be able to successfully attack us if we do not start investing more today.
When I'm speaking with Mark Rutte, when I'm speaking with NATO allies, when I'm speaking with my counterparts bilaterally, what I hear is that Canada's leadership on the international stage, especially with Ukraine, especially in Latvia, where we elevated from battle group to brigade, where we have the largest multinational effort on the eastern flank. We are actually a leader.
But one Canadian scholar argues it's too little, too late.
So I'm just going to say the quiet part out loud. NATO is dead, and we're going to watch it die. And the alliance, the integrity of the alliance has been so severely compromised in the past few months that it cannot really do what it was supposed to do in the past. Even if the United States makes other pivots, it is not a secret anymore that the Russians are considering a possible attack on NATO allies in the eastern front of NATO, because it doesn't believe any longer that there is a sufficient deterrent threat to prevent it from doing so.
And while the world watches Europe, others argue Canada should be watching the United States.
Now, the threat for Canada isn't actually Russia, it's the United States. And we cannot forget, they also said the quiet part out loud, we are a natural resource-rich country at a time where the United States has been strangled out of critical mineral supply chains by the Chinese, and we have those critical minerals, and so does Greenland.
Trump has said he doesn't feel as though America necessarily needs to contribute anymore, unlike its NATO counterparts. For now, we'll have to wait until tomorrow when he and NATO Secretary General will hold a press conference and provide an update on how these talks went.